bird of prey 5. El Karuga.
Kapla!
Kapla.
I'm going to take this opportunity, however, to suggest that we all hail Karuga. That's all I'm saying.
Forgive me, Doctor. I'm receiving a number of distress calls. I don't doubt it.
Y'all remember to tip your waitresses. Have a mighty fine night.
If you come in peace, surrender or be destroyed. If you're here to make war, we surrender.
Both good. The important thing is I'm needing new people.
When the appointed hour arrives, the Marauders will deactivate their cloaking devices and begin transporting Klingon shock troops directly to the landing zone.
Landing zone? Where? Tell me.
Why not? Your feeble weapons will be useless against us. We will kill all your males and take your females to mate with.
All right. Now the Federation's taking over, whether you like it or not. You people, you've been running this planet like a piecework factory. From now on, it's going to be under one roof. You're going to run it like a business. And that means you're going to make a profit.
Look at these 3 words written larger than the rest, with a special pride never written before or since. Tall words, proudly saying, "We the people."
Hi, I'm Nicole DeBoer. I played Lieutenant Ezri Dax on DS9, and I welcome you to Bird o' Prey 5 channel. Hail Karoga.
Hello world, it's Bird o' Prey 5, Kapla. What a week. Oh, it's Monday. Wow. For a moment there, it was so hectic. I thought it was Friday. No, it is Monday. Welcome to Bed Life for Monday, February 27th, 2023. Oh my God, it's been such a busy week. It feels like Friday. John Aragi says, Uno. Yes, John, at 4:01 p.m. I was incredibly late. So incredibly late. Even setting up the stream. You were the first to say hello. Syphilis was a very, very quick second. I venture to guess you may even had pressed enter first, but being the electrons had to come all the way from, I know the electrons don't actually move that far, just the field through the electrons had to come all the way from the other side of the earth. He got up here second with solitaire question mark. Kapla Syphilis. And then John Araki gave a very generous $1 super chat before we even started. And that was on top of an extremely generous thanks that John Araki gave for the musical short that Mamo Prey and I duetted, released earlier this weekend. Those, a musical parody of the All in the Family, Those Were the Days. And Mamo Prey has still yet to listen to it because she doesn't like hearing her own voice, but I've assured her everybody loves at least her part of the song. And thank you again to everybody, but especially thank you, John Araki. And Syphilis says, he. John Araki says, hashtag Steelbird's garbage. Of course. The city of New York has decided to make changes to the way they pick up garbage starting April 1st. You'd think it was an April Fool's joke, but I'm sure it's not. It's just a way to raised money, I'm sure, by fining homeowners. Used to, you put the garbage out by 4 p.m. or whatever. Now you have to wait till 5 p.m. if it's in a can with a 6 p.m. with a well-sealed lid. Now you got to wait till 6 p.m. Or if it's just in a garbage bag, you got to wait till 8 p.m. And of course, buy no later than midnight. But of course, then if they don't pick it up for days or whatever, they don't get fined. You don't get your money back. No. So, who really gives a crap? Okay, I don't care if my neighbor puts out their garbage 24 hours ahead of time, or 12 hours ahead of time, or 6. It really doesn't make a difference to me. I'm just happy that they're putting out their garbage, and it's not, ripped up along the street. There are people that literally throw garbage out their window. Why are you going to complain if it's in a bag or a garbage can? Half of Manhattan, they don't even use the city garbage. Any building, they have to use private sanitation. This is only affecting people in the outer boroughs for the most part. Anyway. John DeMarco says third of Birdo Prey 5. Third of 5, I get it. Sizzler says, does it count before the stream has started? Like the tip, it always counts, said the list. These are basically the tip of the chats. Sizzler says, still very creative. Moxley fan says, good day to Sith. And Moxley fan says, hello to us all. Captain Fandom Nerd says, hello, hello, Captain. John DeMarco says, greetings to everyone. Greetings, John. Professor Brainy Specs says, well. What a surprise. Sarcasm. Bird is late again. Sizzler says, you never know what can happen with medical issues, unfortunately. That is absolutely true. Sizzler was in the hospital for 30 days out of nowhere last month. I assume you're out now. Sizzler says, maybe Bird's got something happening he can quick fix. Well, I had a doctor's appointment. I had a call with my uncle. He was having computer issues. I was working on a video. And earlier this morning, I had some other stuff that came up that I wasn't expecting. And yeah, just it all kind of stuck together and slowed everything down this afternoon. But yeah, as soon as I'm done with the stream, probably 15 minutes out, maybe I need 15 or 20 minutes, and a Star Trek Picard season 3, episode 2, Disengage, 5 biggest nitpicks. There's going to be 5 biggest nitpicks of every episode, and I'm pretty sure it's a much cleaner, much shorter video than the review. My review this week was like an hour and 10 minutes, whereas this 5 biggest nitpicks is a very manageable 11.5 minutes, and half that time, maybe a little less, maybe a third of the time, are in fact clips from the episode and other Trek episodes, or sci-fi clips in general, to help me make my point. But a much more polished, edited video than the hour-plus long review. So people who don't have an hour and a half to watch a review, who just want to see my 5 biggest nitpicks, that'll be coming out today. Hopefully, in the future, I'd have it done before the weekend was over, but with Ciso Prey, nephew of Prey, and particularly busy weekend, it just didn't happen. So at this point, they might as well release it after today's live stream. This way, the live stream doesn't take away from the algorithm. Anyway, moving on. Where are we? Not Ryan Johnson says, hello and kapla. Hail Karoga. Hail Karoga. Yvette says, good evening, Bird, and everyone. Good evening, Yvette. The lovely Yvette. Yes, quite a few. And I apologize anybody who messaged me today. I was just so busy. So busy. So many people want so much. Not even the people messaging me, the people can call me direct. Executive producer Saul Leibowitz says, Kapla, to pray. Hope you have a great weekend. And by the way, if you're a family member who called me direct, I'm not talking about you. Family always comes first in Karoga. Like, I don't know why we have to go through the like dance with a doctor who comes that does almost nothing just to come to get paid. Just for what reason, I don't understand. They're like, I'll pay you anyway. I mean, I'm not the one. I am. It is my money. She doesn't even take insurance. So I'll just send you the check and you don't have to come see me. Just be at my beck and call when I need something in 2, 3, 6 months. It's all I need. It's like I'm paying for your loyalty. You don't have to pretend that your stethoscope on my chest means anything. Okay? You told me I was clear as a bell, and then 5 days later I had pneumonia. So I just don't believe the stethoscope even works. Executive producer Saul Leibowitz says, Kapla, to pray. I hope you have a great weekend. Well, I hope I have a great weekend too, but we're 5 days out. And we got snow coming tonight. I know I thought it was Friday, but I'm afraid. Words and Pictures says, Kapla, to pray. Good to be here. Will you tell us your dream you mentioned while we were in the Twilight Zone? You want to hear about that dream? Words and Pictures. So understand it was Sunday morning, and Sis O'Prey and Nephew O'Prey stayed the night, and I was having this very vivid dream that I was up in the Adirondack Karoga house. I was perfectly walking and whatnot, and there was a ton of people there, as there often is when I'm there. Usually it's my group of friends. Sometimes it's Sis O'Prey's group of friends. On rare occasion, it's both our groups of friends. And I'm guessing this was one of those occasions. And now the thing is, Sis O'Prey's friends, let's very few of them do I find particularly attractive. Okay. Just for whatever reason, well, a lot of her friends are dudes, because let's face it, guys generally make better friends. And I'm just saying, like, Sis O'Prey has had a fight with every one of her female friends at some point in her life, that either her or they have had at one point, even if they didn't do it, seriously considered filling the offending person's mailbox with lo mein. Now, I don't understand it, because like that kind of fucks the entire family when it's only one person that she's really having a fight with. But like, I've heard them debate it. Like, I should really fill her fucking mailbox with lo mein. And I've heard her friends say the same thing about the other friends they were fighting with. Because as a brother, you get privileged to hear the bullshit anyway, there's a lot of lo mein filled mailboxes in Brooklyn, I imagine, in the 90s. But anyway, very few of Sissel Prey's friends did I ever find particularly attractive. And even if I had, it really wouldn't have mattered because she wasn't about to facilitate any type of things. And frankly, the other honest part was I was in no particular condition to receive any attractive women either. But let's just say, in this dream, Sissel Prey happened to have very attractive friends who I didn't know. Okay, they were not real friends that she had, but in my dream, I knew them to be her friends. And I swear to God, God is my witness. In the dream, the friends came over. Sissel Prey came over and says, he's the one you need to speak with about that. And then I could see she was angry that she had to even bring them to me, and she left. Thank God she left. And I was annoyed. I was like, what do you guys want? I knew they were hot. They were hot, but I assumed that they were going to say something fucking stupid. And they were like, so, we hear you know about Battlestar Galactica. And I perked up. I was, yeah, I know about. And I assumed they were talking about the new one, Battlestar Galactica, the new one being the 2004. I mean, granted, that's 20 years old now, but like, yeah, I saw Battlestar Galactica. And they were like, oh, could you tell us about it? We've got for fuck's sake. I mean, we're all like 40 years old. And I assume these girls were maybe 30. So like, we have a report on Battlestar Galactica, but we don't know anything about it. And I'm like, shit, I remember I watched Battlestar Galactica, but I don't remember the whole freaking story. And I'm like, but they don't know that. So I started going off about how, yeah, it was about the Cylons, and now the Cylons, they used to be robots, but now they look like humans. And then I started desperately trying to remember like what the hell was going on. And I don't know if I was just making the stuff up completely or if this was something that they touched on in Battlestar Galactica. But I said, yeah, the Cylons, they wanted to learn how to reproduce, and they could get pregnant if they had sex with a human, but they couldn't get pregnant if they had sex with each other. And then they found out that if they truly like loved each other, then they could have a baby. But in order to know if they were truly in love, like when they were having sex, they would like, if they were truly in love, they would turn transparent. And like, you would know that meant that they were actually going to conceive. And I was just going on, and they were listening. And then they were so happy. I told them about Battlestar Galactica, that then they started, you know what type of dream it turned into. And the next thing I know, they're topless, and then maybe bottomless, and they're like all over me. And I'm in the kitchen in this particular Adirondack house, sitting on a bench that we only had in that kitchen area. Not really a bench, a tall seat. And I was leaning back, which really you can't do in this seat, but for some reason in my dream I could. And like, there's one on coming from above me down, and one from below me up, and like the hands are all over, and like, oh, I'm really in this. There's like people in the fucking dining room that are just, I'm like, just whatever. I'm sure they're not looking this way, even though obviously they would be. And then, as all this was happening, I go, oh, yeah, this is good. The next thing I do, my eyes open, and I'm awake, and Sis O'Prey is holding Nephew O'Prey like 6 inches from my face. Oh my God, hello. And they have obviously no idea that I was in the middle of this extremely vivid dream. And I just kind of had to transition from the middle of, ecstasy to my nephew and my sister standing over me, looking down at me. Very similar in the angle to which I was looking up at 2 nude women only seconds prior to my brain. But such is life. You wake up, turns out that I was not in the middle of 2 chicks at one time in a perfectly capable physical body. I was in the middle of 0 chicks in a hospital bed, unable to get out, to get up, or really do much of anything except say hello to my nephew. It was a great dream right up until the time I woke up. Then this morning, I had another dream, also vivid, but not sexual. I was at a hotel in San Diego. It was a Friday afternoon. I was annoyed. Was planning on doing something, or I was planning on flying home, and for something, the flight got canceled. And so I had nothing to do. It was the time before smartphones. All I had was this, the little old flip phones, but not the first generation flip phones, like the last generation of the black and white only flip phones. And I was calling a number for my friend who was out in San Diego, and it transposed the number on the piece of paper. And so I was calling a different employee of the company. And I was like, yeah, it's like, but you have his number, right? Because everybody must be calling you looking for him, and your name is down as his number. So it's like, can you just give me the number, his number? And the guy is like being a dick. He's like, I could give you the number, or you could just email him and ask him for the number. And I thought about it. I was like, yeah, I guess the guy does pretty much check his email all the time. But I was like, shit, now I've got to you could email off those phones, but it took forever to put in an email address. And so I was just pissed at this guy that he wouldn't, just give me the phone number that I needed. And I had to, anyway, I was on an elevator at that point, and I knew that we were going through the pool. Like, I'd been in the hotel room earlier, and I knew I was in a floor that was above the pool, because when I looked out my room, I could see down to the pool. So then we were coming up in the elevator, and we stopped on the pool deck, and directly outside the elevator was the roof of another building, and there was this big pool, and there was all these people in the pool. And I noticed all these people are wearing shirts in the pool, and I'm like, geez, I remember when I was weird, I was the weird one who would wear my shirt out in the pool, and now these days everybody wears their shirts in the pool. And I was like, that's unfortunate. I used to be unique. But then I noticed shit, there's an elephant in the pool. I got not a huge elephant, like a baby elephant. And it was, the elephant was like swimming and everybody was like having fun with this baby elephant. And like, I was kind of annoyed, like, maybe I should just come down here and swim with the elephant. But I thought better of it. There were so many people in the pool, and the water in the pool was only like half full. So they gave, oh, that water is probably so nasty. There's so little water left. I was more figuring it was filthy because of all the people in the pool than the elephant in the pool. Anyway, it took forever for the elevator doors to close. There was like 11 people. It was a huge elevator. And I felt like it was 5 or 10 minutes for the elevator to finally close, to the point that I was looking and there was a staircase that went up. Now, the flights were much higher than a single flight. Like the staircase was probably like 3 flights in length. But I was looking at it and I was seriously considering walking up the steps. But laziness ultimately won out. And after 5 or 10 minutes, the doors finally closed and the elevator went up to my floor. And that's when I woke up. I never made it back to my hotel room. I was quite a bit annoyed. But I was like, I bet Sisso Frey would have liked if I took video of the elephant in the pool, but I didn't. Those were my latest dreams. Moxley fans says, Cupflaw Bird, hope you and the family are doing well today. Thank you, Moxley. And he said he'll be back in a bit. Mr. Lundell's Groovy Movie says, Cupflaw, Mr. Lundell. The Traveler says, am I early or is Bird late? I was late, Traveler. Welcome. And the Traveler did a recent stream of Kerbal Space Program 2. It's out. Make sure you're subscribed to the Traveler, formerly known as Wesley Crusher. And there's the link. That is the link to subscribe to the Traveler's channel. Professor Brainy Speck says, hey to Gorilla. And yeah, he already told Bird he is late. The Traveler says, my Wordle guess is sassy. Oh, I do have to do Wordle. I'll do Wordle. So sassy. You want me to start with sassy. ASASSY. I guess it's 5 letters. Son of a bitch. Professor reminds me that he doesn't like the new music. The Traveler says, hail Birdo Prey 5, hail Karoga, Cupflaw. Mike Richards says, greetings from Columbus, Ohio. Greetings, Mike Richards. 47 Yorktown says, hello, young sir. Hello, 47. The Traveler says, remember, I get the first Cupflaw every video. Okay, Cupflaw, Traveler. Professor Brainy Speck says, Leonard Nimoy, March 26th, 1931 to February 27th, 2015. Hashtag remember. Absolutely. So the 8th anniversary of the passing of Leonard Nimoy. John DeMarco says he's really not gone as long as we remember him. Indeed. I see what you did there. Scythila says, sorry I missed Scary Door yesterday. It was chemo day. Oh, I'm sorry, Scythila. There was 3 decent episodes for the 85 revival of Twilight Zone. The Traveler says, space update. I landed Bob on the moon. Very cool. LDG at hashtag free of the net Says, remember to double X the stream if you want Bird more live. Jedi Bill says, Kapla, Bird will pray. 5 Kapla, Jedi Bill. Gorilla's Random Thoughts says, why is my name tagged gray? Makes it harder to notice. It's blue to me, Gorilla. I don't see gray. Gorilla says, so Bird, we're going to get Cheers on. Are we going to get a Cheers on next? Are we going to get a Cheers on next? I don't understand the question, Gorilla. Not Ryan Johnson. It's a garbage rant. Sidler says, Americans have to supply their own garbage bins. You do in Queens. You do in New York City. The multi-gun man says, cheater. I don't know what I'm being accused of cheating at. Bird, he says, hey, Bird, how's it going? It's going well, multi-gun man. Professor Brainy Specs says, the multi-gun man, who is a cheater? My poor friend whom I ignore. And the multi-gun man says, the Professor Brainy Specs, that's what he's trying to find out. Sidless enjoyed the Picard episode 1 review. Thank you so much. The song at the beginning of Cheers is what Mama Frey is thinking. I don't know. Salty Tracker has the song at the beginning of Cheers. Martin Devon says, number 1, why do the enemies always outgun the Federation starship? Because if they didn't, they really wouldn't be much of a threat. The Random Menace is greetings from the future. Star Trek hater. Worf's action was justified. Strange New Worlds does not break the canon. Prodigy is the best track from the new bunch. We need a DS9 season 8 through 14. God help me if Terry Metalis or any of these people put their hands on Deep Space Nine. I will not be responsible for my actions. Sithlis is the Martin Devon because of the sheer fucking hubris. Indeed. Indeed. Yes, Ms. Lundell says, leave DS9 alone. Absolutely. Although Prodigy is good, says Professor. I'm not going to argue with that. The Multi-Gun Man says, Bird of Prey 5, she should be at your beck and call. Irregardless, you are the Emperor of Kuroger after all. The Random Menace says, lol, I see my comments are being read. Of course I read your comments. Gorilla says, hey, Bird, unless it's 2 feet, don't want to hear about snow. Professor Brainy Specs says, I do think Worf was justified, though. Well, you're wrong, all wrong. And in my 5 biggest nitpicks video, I'll explain why you're wrong. Multi-Gun Man says to the Random Menace, your comments are always a great get read. I am the only one that is legally mandated by Emperor Bird to be ignored. Professor says the Random Menace, I always ignore the Multi-Gun Man. Isn't that right? Professor Brainy Specs says, who is whispering? I can't tell. The Multi-Gun Man says, confirmed Bird of Prey is perving on his sister's friends. No, she hasn't had an particularly attractive friend since like high school. Sidla says, lol, same here, Bird. Chemo is no friend to attracting the ladies. I know. I'm sorry to hear that. You would think it would give you like a magnetic personality or something. The Multi-Gun Man says, Bird of Prey, they're female. Of course, they're going to say something stupid. Well, don't say that around Mama Prey. The Random Menace says, FFS, it's so weird being the same age as old people. BSG is almost 20. So this is Lowell Bird just added in the koala species to the war in Battlestar Galactica. And Professor reminds us that actually Battlestar Galactica is 43 because of the original. series, Battlestar Galactica. The Multi-Gun Man says the Random Menace, if dudes are allowed to identify as chicks and chicks are allowed to identify as dudes, then I'm allowed to identify as a 21-year-old. Sizzless is Bird of Prey. I bet that dream, I bet it was a dream that blew. No, sadly not. Well, luckily not, I would say. Professor Brainy Speck says, can I identify as a tax collector? I could collect a whole lot of money. Akeem says, it sounds like a great dream so far. It was just that like ending like hitting a brick wall. Let's see. And I lost my position. There we go. Words and pictures says that's a quality dream with a real world crash, wake up, and yes. The Multi-Gun Man says it's always about sex with Bird of Prey 5. There should be a XXX rated YouTube channel. I didn't bring it up. You guys asked about it. Moxley fan is back. Oh, Moxley, you missed so much. You missed so much. Just rewind and listen at 2x speed. Words and Pictures says The Elephant in the Pool would be a great book title. Low Specs Linux laptop is in the house. Got blah, Low Specs Linux laptop. Random Menace, for better or worse, my hint for Wordle is that sassy is not a good start. Well,
Glad you said it.
Friend says, glad you said it, because that's what she was thinking. Donnie Pearson says, Bird of Prey, hello, Joe and all. If you're celebrating it like I'm a happy Pokemon Day, yes, it is. It is Pokemon Day. Hope everyone's final weekend of the month was amazing. Gorilla says, Cheers won next SS on a parody song. Oh, but okay. But it's like Salty already has that parody Cheers song. And there's no way I'm going to do it better than Piano Dean did. Sizzler says, no wonder when I went to New York City, there was garbage bags and shit all over the street. In Australia, local garbage bin supply and pickup is local council's responsibility. Donnie Pearson says, hey, the Random Menace. I agree about Prodigy, my current Trek show. Professor Brainy Specs is Bird of Prey. You are wrong for thinking I am wrong. I double dumbass on you. I'm sorry. Colorful metaphors. Professor Brainy Specs says to the Random Menace, the only good current Star Trek show. And Professor, wait and see on Picard season 3. And Addy in Stereo says subscriber only mode chats are anti-American. Why does Bird hate America? I don't hate America. I love America. You're the one who's always leaving the country and talking about how much greater it is in Timbuktu or Norway or Iceland or anywhere else you might go. Argentina. Moxley says, is anyone else having YouTube issues right now? I'm not, but it's always possible. Someone is. No. Let's get Wordle out of the way. I know. Well, okay. The traveler wants me to use sassy, and even though I'm told that that won't be useful, it's still useful to get rid of, we do get one letter in the right spot, and we do get rid of the fact that there's no Y, there's no A, and there's obviously only one S. So it's really not all that bad a word. The Travelers with Bird of Prey, thanks for the channel shout out. I will do best to have entertaining live streams. Very cool. The Multi-Gun Man is confirmed. Bird of Prey 5 hates him. America. But of course, we already knew that. Professor Brainy Specs says Wordle could be worse. And the Random Man says, I'm the one, and Tim booked 2. That's not what I meant, and you guys know it. Okay. So sassy gives us 1 S in 1 in spot. Let's see. Let's see if it doesn't. Let's see if there's an S as the second to the last letter. It could end in an E. It could end in a T. What else could it end in? Could end in well, let's say, let's do let's see. Okay, it's not blast because we have an A. Blist. Is blist a word? It is a word, but none of those letters. So it doesn't end in T. Is there a V, L, or I? Okay, let's see. Maybe it's an E at the end. What could be? What could be? Or it could be a K. It could be a K. Let's see. A, E, I, O, U. Me. Let's see. P, H, E, S, K. Frisk. B-R. Press. Presk. Presk is an word. Press. Crest. Crest. C-R-E-S. No, test. T is not fuck. It's not test. Cresk. That's not a word. That's not a word. Cross. Crusk. Crust. Crusk. No, crust. Trust. Okay, let's just try some other letters. M-O-S-E-R. M-O-N-E-R. Okay. So we got the O, the S, and an E and an R. Okay, so X, O, R, S, E. Course. C-O-R-S-E. Okay, course. Morse. Horse. A horse is a horse. Of course. Unless, it's not a horse. God damn it. Worse. Wait, what else could it be? God damn it. Worse. You people with your clues. It could be worse. That's the worst Wordle ever. Wordle could be worse.
Did you get it?
I got it, but only because I might have gotten it on my own, but once I realized worse was a possibility and I listened to the comments people made before I started, I knew it was right. See, would there have been anything else I would have done besides worse? Curse, worse, purse, Porsche, source, no, doors, force, gorge, George, Corge, source, Borscht. No, I guess I would have gotten it. I would have done worse because that was the last word left. Unfortunately, it took 6, but at least I got it. Okay. So you guys got me. So for today, February 27th, it's International Polar Bear Day, National Protein Day, meat, basically meat day, Insomnia Awareness Day. Take a deep breath we learn more about the loss of the sense of smell. That's very unfortunate. Battle of the Oranges, Ivera. Grab your nearest bowl of citrus because it's time for Ivera's world-renowned Battle of the Oranges. Clean Monday. Fly your kites high in the sky as we welcome Lent. Cypress Green Monday. Let's begin the auspicious period of Lent by celebrating a day of gratitude. Is today the beginning of Lent? I guess so. Dominican Republic Independence Day. National Albert Day. National Kahlua Day. Fancy joining us for a decadent cup of rich and smooth Kahlua. National Pokemon Ball Day or Pokemon Day. That's another holiday for Cinnabon. National Strawberry Day. You're never far from a supplier of this tasty tongue tickler. I do not like having my tongue tickled with strawberries. National Susan Day. No-brainer day. Take this day to relax your mind and stop yourself from overthinking problems. It's Orthodox Lent. It's Retro Day. Revisit the past on this February 27th, or it's Retro Day. For me, every day is Retro Day. Special Operations Forces Day. Join in the celebration of Russia's. What? Let us join in the celebration of Russia's Special Operation Forces Day? How the hell did this get in there? Special Operations Forces is annually observed in Russia's Federation Armed Forces on February 27. President Vladimir Putin established it in 2015. I think somebody should have taken this out of the calendar. Oh my God. Watch a patriotic film or television show. Share on social media. And remember those who have passed away. Take a moment to remember Russia's fallen soldiers who made the ultimate sacrifice for their country. donate to organizations that help the families of Russian fallen soldiers. I'm pretty sure that's a war crime now. You can't donate to an organization to help fallen Russian soldiers. Oh my God. Somebody needed to double check that one. So I guess they don't have anyone editing up what goes up anymore. It's the big breakfast day. What's shaking bacon? Join us as we celebrate the big breakfast day and World NGO Day. Join us in celebrating a day that's observed in over 89 countries across 6 continents. So they're basically not observed in most countries. Where are we? The Travelers is Bird of Prey. Thanks for the shout out. I read that. I read that. Sizzler says Timbuktu doesn't even have an embassy in Australia. LDG did it in 3. That's the worst word ever. The Random Menace says, I did worse than LDG. I did it in 4. Sizzler says crust, crisp. Moxley said try priest. Unfortunately, Moxley, once I start on Wordle, I don't go back and check the chat because people could put in the answer. And LDG says cheated. Moxley says cheater, pumpkin eater. Sizzler says should I not be guessing? No, you can absolutely guess. That's why I just don't check it till I'm done. Substance D says kapla. Substance D. The Random Menace is Protein Day, as in PROTEEN. Moxley says, I love strawberries. Sidless says, it's been 1 year since they invaded Ukraine. Words and Pictures is laughing. Yay, Russian Special Forces. Hakeem says, I would think they'd cancel that day. Yeah, I think so. I think they would. And Zilla says, was she missing a leg on the left? I'm not sure who we're talking about. Retro Day, World NGO Day, Special Forces Day. All possible. All possible. So I talked about this on Friday, and it's Monday, and Dilbert is dead. Dilbert distributor and book publisher drops creator Scott Adams over racist remarks. Basically, they've stopped publishing Dilbert. And also all the books the publisher has ever created, they're all now effectively out of print, and all the books he was supposed to have published, they've all been canceled. Andrew McNeil Universal, the company that syndicates Dilbert, said it's cutting ties with the comic strip creator Scott Adams after his racist remarks about Black Americans led hundreds of newspapers across the country to drop the satirical cartoon. In a joint statement, Andrews McNeil chairman Hugh Andrews and CEO and president Andy Sarian said that the syndication company was, quote, severing our relationship with Adams and condemned his remarks, saying we will never support any commentary rooted in discrimination or hate. The publisher of a forthcoming book from Adams also said Monday they would no longer move forward with publishing the title. The Penguin Random House imprint portfolio said it won't publish Adams' upcoming book, Reframe Your Brain. The book was set to release in September. My publisher for non-Dilbert books has canceled my upcoming book and the entire backlist, Adams wrote on Monday on Twitter. He also says his book agent canceled him. Portfolio published Adams' previous titles, including How to Fail at Almost Everything and Still Win Big, and Loser Think, How Untrained Brains Are Ruining America. Hundreds of papers dropped Dilbert. Though McNeil's decision could be one of the most significant repercussions for the comic strip, hundreds of newspapers across the country already stopped running Dilbert. Adams effectively encouraged segregation in a shocking rant on YouTube, calling Black Americans a hate group and suggesting that white people should get the hell away from them. The USA Today network, which operates hundreds of newspapers, said it had pulled the plug on the long-running comic strip. The Washington Post and the Plain Dealer, also in Cleveland, said he would no longer carry the comic. So the only part that really upsets me, I mean, don't get me wrong, I think people should be allowed to have their opinions, but I also get that you might not want to carry somebody's comic who says certain things. Is that Scott Adams had said in the past that he planned to do Dilbert for a long time, but we would know the last Dilbert, the last Dilbert comic would be the one where Dilbert's tie was flat up against him. Dilbert's tie is always kind of rolling out, rolling forward. And he always said that when he was going to do his last comic, Dilbert's tie would finally be flat. Now, granted, it's been 10 plus years since I've read a Dilbert comic. I honestly didn't even know he was still making them, but it kind of bothers me now that I will never get to see probably the last comic, because nobody will publish it, where his tie is indeed flat. So, anyway. See if Dilbert comes back in a year. What's going on? What else is going on in the world today? Oh, yeah. So, apparently the Energy Department, and I don't know why the Energy Department is the one releasing this report, says that a certain virus did likely come from a lab in a certain country whose name I choose not to say, lest YouTube be listening in and decide to cancel the channel for reporting breaking news. But apparently it's no longer a conspiracy theory. It is actually being reported by the major news networks. Huh. Do they have to pay? Are they able to be sued over all this? I mean, I don't know. I guess not. Supreme Court to hold hearing on Biden's student loan plan soon. Florida Governor DeSantis ends corporate kingdom of Walt Disney World, whatever that means. Snapchat releases My AI chat box powered by ChatGPT. The morning after, scientists confirm a fifth layer inside the Earth's core. Anything else? No government consensus on the lab leak theory, which is weird, since they just said that the Department of Energy says it is. Live updates from the war in the Ukraine on this Russian Special Forces Day. Tornadoes touch down in Oklahoma as massive winter storm heads to the northeast. And yes, we are expecting snow to start falling here in the next hour or so. Let's see. Sorry in advance. Snapchat warns of hallucinations with new AI conversation bot. I have no idea. Let's see. You can now fly the largest aircraft ever built in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Wasn't that the plane that got destroyed in the Ukraine? Let's see what I have. Microsoft Flight Simulator. IHOP hits OnlyFans model with a copyright claim. See Anne Hathaway as Star Trek's new Counselor Troy? What? New Counselor Troy. See Anne Hathaway as Star Trek's new Counselor Troy. Anne Hathaway is Star Trek The Next Generation Troy in this AI art. What? If you've ever wondered what Academy Award winner Anne Hathaway would look like as Star Trek's Counselor Deanna Troi, look no further. With the aid of artificial intelligence, the official giant freaking robot Instagram account has produced several concepts of what the actress could look like as the next generation character. In these pictures, Anne Hathaway takes over the role from Marina Sirtis, which is an interesting possibility for the reported recasting of the next generation. In a first image, Anne Hathaway is wearing a pale blue bodysuit that Troy frequently wore in Star Trek and appears to be seated at her frequent post to the stage left of the captain's chair on the deck of the USS Enterprise. In the next picture, Anne is seen in a more dynamic pose, now wearing the iconic purple and lavender bodysuit that Troy wore for the first several seasons. Finally, the third sees the actress in a very similar pose, but with her face angled slightly differently. We reported an exclusive clip that the next generation would be recast and rebooted, which would definitely be one way to get Anne Hathaway into the Star Trek franchise. At the moment, the film future of the series seems very much up in the air, with little movement on Star Trek IV in the last several years, and multiple members of the cast having gone to incredible success with other series, like, for example, starring in the highest number of billion-dollar grossing movies of any other actor. But even though the film series is currently stalled, that does not mean that there is no way to get Anne Hathaway aboard Star Trek. The existence of the J.J. Abrams Star Trek movies is due to some careful continuity manipulation. And John Mullen has subscribed. Kapla, John Mullen. If you're here, welcome. With some careful continuity manipulation with the Chris Pine series of films being officially dubbed a parallel Calvin timeline, given that every major franchise seems to be dealing with an expanding multiverse these days. Why not Star Trek? That said, Anne Hathaway is very busy, an acclaimed actress, which makes the possibility of her portraying Star Trek's most empathetic and empathic counselor a bit of a long shot. Hathaway currently has 5 different movies in various stages of production, including upcoming Sesame Street feature film. But given that she is willing to co-host a movie with Oscar the Grouch, maybe Paramount really could get her aboard a starship. What in the hell is this? So somebody made some AI art and they made an article about it. Fine. Whatever. Let's see. There is no way Anne Hathaway is ever going to be Counselor Troy. I would bet $1,000.
The whole article had to be paid by her. I mean,
No, people just get paid to write by the word. They find any nonsense they can to write. Good you can self-publish. Yeah, he really said some things. Yitz the Lemon says anyone who saw the video can see this is ripped out of context and that he was trolling. Sad world we live in, says the traveler. Random Menace says he said that, however, as Yitza is saying, context is for kings, but everybody seems to be a peasant. Random Menace says Sizzless, but on the other hand, he could also opt for not saying anything at all. Yitza says, newsworthy, look at me, I'm an artist. More like Anne Fappaway. Donnie Pearson says, I'm fine with whether or not Anne Hathaway would appear in Star Trek, to be honest. I'm just saying there's no way they're rebooting the Next Generation. I think they would call it something else. Donnie Pearson says, someone once said Star Trek is a multiverse, and I agree. Of course it is. And the Traveler says that AI art is creepy. Yes, it is. Widespread approval, but also some vile responses to our canceling of Dilbert today in Ohio. What? Cleveland.com and the Plain Dealer dropped Dilbert comic strip on Friday after creator Scott Adams went on a racist ran on his Coffee with Scott Adams online video show. While editor Chris Quinn said it was not a difficult decision, he was inundated with messages, including some vitriol. We're talking about hate on Today in Ohio. Editor Chris Quinn in our daily half-hour news podcast with Impact editor Layla Atisa, editorial board member Lisa Garvin, and content director Laura Johnston. You've been sending Chris lots of thoughts and suggestions from our newsroom text account, which he shares what we're thinking about at cleveland.com. You can sign up for free by sending a text to some number. Here's what we're asking about today. Why did the Plain Dealer make the call to stop carrying the Dilbert comic strip? The Cuyahoga County Jail is in the crosshairs yet again, this time for keeping people behind bars without reason, sometimes for weeks. What the hell does that have to do with Dilbert? They just, that was it. They just, no more Dilbert. Oh well. I'm not going to be looking through it. Anyway, let's go over to Dear Bob. Kapla Dave G Sound. John DeMarcos is coming soon to Paramount Plus. Star Trek: The Next Generation. Star Trek: Another Generation, says Syphilis. The Traveler says, I hope they don't reboot Next Gen until after Patrick Stewart and Brent Spiner pass, because you know they would have them in like as a cameo, like Spock was. Dear Bob, do you like cheeseburgers or a burger without cheese? Really make it. I prefer the cheeseburger. Dear Bob, do you prefer regular soap or a body wash? I need a bath. Body wash. Dove makes the skin nice and smooth. Dear Bob, my name is Nancy O'Hallion. I saw Rock Solid was on TikTok. It turns out it wasn't him, was someone using his name in vain to make a buck. Did they ever find that SOB? I have no idea. I think they did, but I don't know if TikTok took it down. Dear Bob, hi, I have a YouTube Premium. Why do some of these YouTubers put mid-roll ads in their videos? That's why I got YouTube Premium, so I wouldn't have any ads. Also, why do some of these YouTubers tell you at the end of their videos to like and subscribe and click the bell? I just find it super annoying. Why, Bop, why? Dan Ruff. Well, Dan, if you YouTube Premium, you shouldn't see any ads. If you're seeing mid-roll ads, that's something you should talk to YouTube about. It is my understanding that YouTube Premium users skip the ads. They don't see the ad. God knows I'm a YouTube Premium user. I have not seen an ad in a YouTube video in years. The only time I've occasionally seen one was when I was not on my main account. Like if I was on a different account on a different browser, then I see an ad. And I even, to be honest, I forget YouTube even has ads because it's been that long. But yeah, I don't ever get ads. So if you're getting mid-roll ads, that's a problem with YouTube, not a problem with the creator. Now, that said, as a creator myself, I personally have chosen not to use mid-roll ads because to be frank, I don't have enough views for it to make a difference. I mean, if I had mid-roll ads, I might make an extra nickel, literally a nickel, over the course of a video. So I obviously for, 50 cents a month that it might cost me, I'd rather just not upset the people who do watch. But if my videos were getting millions of views and a mid-roll ad was the difference between being able to, quit my job, not that I have one, but if I was employed, and it was the difference between being able to quit my job and not being able to quit my job, I would probably go ahead and put in the mid-roll ads. So it's so bright.
I'm trying to get.
Hello, Sis O'Prey. You're on live. Mama Pray is getting to the phone.
I'm trying to reach you.
How are things?
You stabbed up a waterbed in Arizona?
I was not, but they know it. I've already told the story. Okay. I hung up.
Oh, okay. The Amex came to you there again.
Okay.
Okay.
That's fine. She needs to activate it if she wants to.
Love you, bro.
So yeah, I'm sorry for the mid-roll ads. That's not something I do, but I understand why they do it. But yeah, if you got YouTube Premium, you shouldn't be seeing mid-roll ads. The Random Menace is on YouTube Premium since November 2019 and never looked back. It's the most used streaming service in our household. Sizzler says, I'm on YouTube Premium too and get no ads anywhere. You know, they got quite a bit of movies on YouTube that you can watch with no ads if you've got YouTube Premium. It's honestly not a bad deal. And the thing is, content creators such as myself, we get more money when somebody with YouTube Premium watches our videos and our streams than we would through ads anyway. So it's, you know, it's better for me, it's better for you, and it's better for the whales to have YouTube Premium. Dear Bob, Anonymous here. I recently got a job at Target working in the guest services department. I take returns, answer the phones, sort the returns, etc. Bob, will you please explain to me why I always get the nutcases? Thanks, Anonymous. Because it's the nutcases that always have problems. Sane people generally don't have to return a lot of stuff. Okay, if you're a sane person, you generally buy what you want. And if you have a problem, you generally try to fix it without rushing to return it. But if you're a crazy person, you might be buying stuff left and right and like take 3 things home and realize you have to return 4 things in the morning. So you're already at a disadvantage. I mean, if you go to the return line, you know, if you're in a Target and you're at a regular cashier, maybe 1 in 5 of the people on that line are crazy. But if you're at the return line, probably 4 out of the 5 people on that line are crazy. That's just the way it works. Hey, Bob. I was reading some comments on the Picard. I have no desire to watch the whole thing, but I do want to see how it turns out. Like not watching all 4 hours of the OJ chase, but wanting to know if OJ runs into a Jeep when the Bronco runs out of gas. I read one prediction that I think is right on and want to share it. Do you want to hear it? Ask the chat, read a potential spoiler, or stop here. Well, I'm going to read this, so if you guys are afraid of a Picard spoiler, you know, shut the audio down for a minute and come back when I go on to the next Dear Bot. This guy, quote, Dean the Machine on YouTube, thinks the big baddie will be Sela, Tasha's daughter. I have been saying from the beginning that I strongly suspect Denise Crosby is in this series. Now, Denise Crosby on YouTube said that Tasha, she was very upset Tasha isn't in the series. However, she said Tasha. That doesn't mean that Selah, or whatever her name is, isn't in the series. And it would be very Romulan of her to suggest to lie, basically. So I do think she is in it. Anyway, he says, which makes sense as Terry Metalis has thrown every other member berry possible against the wall in just 2 episodes. Selah is the only member berry left, that pipsqueak Klingon, son of one of the Dora sisters. Discuss amongst yourselves who will be the ultimate big baddie. Honey Bunny seems like an obvious red herring. Terry loves throwing off those remember berries. And alas, if Selah is the big baddie, certain Trek fans will have nerdgasms. Thanks, Bird. Sincerely, Sub Commander. I want something new. I think that Selah is in it, and I also think that the conspiracy parasites are also involved. So I think they're both involved. Dear Bob, with your love of Legos, what do you think of this set? And the irony of the franchise referenced in the URL above. Yeah, it says it's a Star Wars set. I don't want to spin. So it is clearly very similar to a Klingon bird of prey, but it just says spacecraft. It's just not green. I don't know. I can deal with it being gray. If it was green, I'd order this today. If this was green, I'd order it today. Free returns. Jesus Christ. $84. I don't know. It's pretty expensive. Tygean Raptor. I like it. I don't get me wrong. I do like it, but very, very suspect on the website. Very suspect on the website. Dear Joseph, Claire Baines from the New York Times official Wordle team, we ask that you please cease from playing Wordle on your streams, as you are not doing us any favors. Your poor performance each stream is very disappointing and has turned off many of our more adept Wordle players. Let this serve as your first warning to not play Wordle live any longer. A second warning will not be pleasant. Thank you, Claire. How about you go fuck yourself? Dear Bob, so apparently Bumfuck is in Egypt. I always thought it was part of San Francisco. I see what you did there. Oh my. Dear Bob, so apparently, same one. Dear Bob, so I keep hearing different things about how far ahead should you not post a live stream. I've seen everything from right before to 3 months out. Definitely don't do 3 months out. I'm going to be honest. When I get some people go out and they put their live streams up for weeks ahead of time, and then I load up my YouTube home screen, and 8 or there maybe 6 or 7, 5, 6 or 7 of the 8 upcoming slots are for upcoming YouTube streams, all from the very same creator. That's very annoying. And if I have to refresh the screen and they don't go away, then I'm forced to go to YouTube and say not interested to forcefully remove 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. That can't be good for the algorithm. Okay, but I'm sorry, I can't have all of my recommendations taken up by the same creator because they decided to, make 20 upcoming live streams. So, yeah, I do my best. I do my best to not have to do that, but sometimes it's a last resort. I've got to do that. So, I strongly suggest 24 hours out. You no longer, no sooner than 24 hours. No longer than 24 hours. Okay, 24 hours is fair. If you've got a live stream coming up tomorrow, then by all means you wanna show it off today, fine. Okay, if you don't live stream often, okay, if you live stream like once a month or once a week, and you want to put it up for 2 weeks or a week ahead of time, that's okay too. But I'm telling you, if you're going to put it up for a week ahead of time, or even 48 hours ahead of time, you've got to make damn sure you're going to be there and start on time. If that thing has been on my screen for a week and it says you're going to start at 8 p.m. on Monday, and 8 p.m. Monday comes and you don't stream, that's like, fuck you, buddy. Okay, no, because you're wasting my space. You're wasting stuff that I could be seeing other creators who are going to stream. Okay, listen, once in a while you get sick, God forbid, in an emergency, you can't stream. I get it. But if you pull that shit twice in a row, no. First time, shame on you. Second time, shame on me. Okay. The second time you put out that you're going to be streaming in a week and you don't show up for that week, then anytime I see you, I'm going to say not interested, because I don't have time to waste with that. It's a promise. If you put up a live stream and you set it for a public time, you are making a promise. Now, if that's a day later, a week later, a month later, a year later, it's a promise. And if you can't meet that promise, don't make the promise. That's why I don't set up live streams a week in advance. I could, but I don't, because I never know if I'm going to be feeling good enough. Frankly, I don't even know if I'm going to be alive. So I'm not going to make that promise. I set up a live stream that day because I'm readily sure if I'm still around and able to do something in the morning, then I hope I am able to actually follow through with the stream come afternoon. Now I know there's going to come a day when I'm going to set a stream up in the morning and something's going to go terribly wrong and I'm going to miss it. But that is a much less likely chance if I don't wait till the morning to set it up than if I set it up a week ahead of time. And that's why I don't. That's why I don't. It is a promise and I expect it to be fulfilled. I give everybody a pass, but you get one. You get one pass. You don't get 6 passes. Gary Katzer, TikTok. Don't know that anyone really cares or someone is just trolling, but yes, the stolen content of mine has been removed from TikTok and the offender has received 2 copyright strikes. All the best, Gary Katzer. YouTube.com/rocksolid. Awesome. Glad to hear it, Gary. The system works. And Gary Katzer says, I add mid-video ads because it makes me more revenue and my time is worth something. I have a rule that when I make my first transition, there's an ad, introduction to photo booth, for example, and every 5 to 6 minutes after that, and before my conclusion. Well, Gary, listen, your channel is growing, so you must be doing something right. But I'll tell you, if I did see ads, I would have tuned out. I'm not on YouTube to see commercials every 5 minutes. I'm sorry. Listen, it works for you, wonderful. But I'd rather pay to not see the ads at all. Dear Bob, do you like popcorn? If yes, what kind? Butter, kettle, vinegar. Yeah, just butter. Butter and a little bit of salt. Freshly made. Freshly made popped corn. Miranda Menace says, no idea why Lego doesn't have a contract with Paramount. Probably because their contract with Star Wars is that they're the only sci-fi property or space sci-fi property that they're allowed to have. 54.5 Access Radio. I think Spicard's big bad will be Beverly's special candle. That was my wish. I knew it wasn't true. That was my hope. Stanley says, what do you think about premieres rather than just posting a video normal? I hate premieres, Stanley. Unless it's, I'm going to be there, and I think honestly, unless it's something that lends itself out to getting super chats, there's zero reason to do a premiere. Because if you do a premiere, like 90% of the comments are wasted. They're just used as chat. And once the premiere is over, nobody reads that. Whereas if you do a video and people want to leave a comment, the comments go below the video, and those comments count as interactions with the video. So instead of getting 50 people writing a chat post, even if you only get 30 people writing a comment, a video with 30 comments looks a lot better to the algorithm than a video with 50 chat interactions from a premiere and no chat interactions after. And especially with super thanks, now that people can give you money in a comment instead of a super chat, even less reason to do it as a premiere. I mean, there are times that, yeah, I could understand a premiere works, but for me, premieres don't work. Stanley says, I only like on occasion when the creator participates. Yes, absolutely. If the creator is not participating in the premiere, then they've fucked up. Okay, then that's 100% wrong. But even if they participate in the premiere, it's still not always the best idea for me. Anyway, John Araki says Picard's greatest nemesis has been fatherhood. Stanley says, and the notify me BS doesn't work anyway. So it doesn't matter. It works for me. When I click notify me, I pretty much always get an email. Stanley says, John Araki, Picard does not pull out. LDG lols. Yit says, some Miko make promises and keep them. I try. John DeMarco says, hashtag stream posting rant. I'm just being honest. Stanley says John Araki synth Picard shoots ropes. And you see, like John Araki, he does a premiere, he is always there. John Araki says, this far, no further. I used that recently. Stanley says, John Araki says he used to nickname her Beverly Cream Pie. Oh my God. John Araki says she's got this. She's a doctor. She can easily fix a crushed pelvis. Sizzler says, yeah, Berta Bray, them YouTube commercials are far too frequent. Yeah. Yitza Lemon says, where's the sugar? And what is vinegar popcorn? I wouldn't put sugar or vinegar on popcorn. Stanley says, John Araki, if you go synth, you might as well add a couple extra inches. No, they were very clear. It was his same old decrepit body. Sizzler says, I posted my premiere by accident the other day. That happens. John Araki says, the only thing more hung than synth Picard is his mom. Oh my God. Oh my God. Somebody said it, that his mom was doing her impression of a chandelier. I thought that was funny. I don't know who. I don't know what video I picked that up on. Somebody's Picard video. John, maybe it was even Random Menace. I'm not sure. John DeMarco says, I like to do a premiere because once a week to chat with the audience. I get it. I mean, listen, if it works for you, then that's wonderful. And obviously, it's working for you, John DeMarco, as your channel is growing very well. I'm pretty sure you far surpassed my channel. Yitza Lemon says, that's completely not what I said, but okay. I'm a promise keeper too. Did I miss it, Yitza? What did I miss that? People still make promises and keep them, question mark. Thought I read it right. And we've got two more super dear bops from Gary, who says also, my ads are not skippable because you are correct. If people don't want to see ads, join YouTube Premium, where more revenue goes to the individual content creators. And he says, on premieres, I premiere all of my videos because I don't have time to live stream. So that is my way of being able to interact with the audiences. So there you go. And Gary, who is also from a channel much bigger than my own, with much more success from his channel. So, you know, take my opinion as just that, my opinion. Dear Bob, the problem with Jean-Luc is he never wanted to hang out with his mother. Bum, bum, bum. Anyway, guys, thank you all for hanging out. John DeMarco says he hasn't passed my channel. I thought you did, John, but okay. You will soon. You will soon. Because you are doing regular content, my friend, and good content. So you will soon. John Araki says Picard's father did nothing wrong. Did nothing, quote, parentheses, wrong. The Random Menace says, it was me. I said that. Oh, yes, it was you. Picard's mother won a that was it. Does a cosplay competition, cosplaying as a chandelier. Yeah, that was a great one, Random Menace. That was a great one. Farewell from Columbus, Ohio. Farewell, everybody. Kapla all. I'm sorry it was late. Anyway, give me about a half hour or so, and I'll be putting out my 5 nitpicks for Picard Season 3, Episode 2. See you later. Bird